讯器。
The B-21 Raider emerges not as a single new aircraft, but as a statement. The United States intends to keep shaping the rules of strategic air power for decades to come. Designed to replace aging components of the long-range bomber force, primarily the B-2 Spirit and, eventually, much of the B-52 Stratofortress mission set, the B-21 is meant to be the most survivable, flexible, and networked long-range strike platform in the U.S. inventory. Its role is unglamorous when reduced to lines on a spec sheet: stealthy penetration, long-range reach, large payload, nuclear and conventional deterrence. But the implications of its design choices ripple across strategy, procurement, and geopolitical signaling. To understand why the B-21 matters, you have to look at what it does, how it does it, and what it replaces. Stealth remains the defining attribute. The B-21 continues the U.S. focus on low observable technology shaping materials and signature management, yet it represents a generational leap beyond even the B-2. The B-2 was revolutionary for its time, a flying wing designed in the 1980s. Its faceting and surface treatments minimized radar returns under the detection environments of the late Cold War. The B-21 leverages decades of progress, advances in computational electromagnetics, manufacturing precision, radar-absorbent materials that tolerate operational wear, and design for stealth practices integrated from the earliest CAD models. Rather than faceting and complex surface joins that plagued earlier stealth airframes, the B-21 surfaces are engineered for manufacturability and sustainment without sacrificing signature. That's important because stealth only matters if you can maintain it in real operations. Minimizing maintenance-intense coatings and using durable materials lowers logistical burdens and increases sortie generation, which is as meaningful tactically as a lower radar cross-section is technically. But stealth alone doesn't guarantee access. Modern integrated air defenses combine long-range sensors, multi-static radar webs, infrared space-based trackers, and increasingly capable anti-air missiles. The B-21 addresses this by being more than a low RCS airframe. It is built to be a node in a distributed network. Open systems architecture, advanced data links, and onboard sensors allow the B-21 to ingest and share targeting data in real time. It may act as a sensor shooter, deploying standoff weapons or facilitating strikes by other assets, or it may carry the punch itself deep into defended airspace. Digital design choices mean payloads, mission systems, and software upgrades can be fielded more rapidly than with legacy platforms. This agility matters in a world where electronic and cyber counters evolve as quickly as air defenses. Payload flexibility is central. The B-21 will field both conventional and nuclear weapons, a hallmark of modern strategic aircraft intended to complicate an adversary's planning and deterrence calculus. Internally carried ordnance preserves the stealth profile for high-threat penetrations, while external carriage in less contested environments provides rapid surge capacity. The bomber's internal bays are designed for a range of munitions: penetrators, standoff cruise missiles, hypersonic boost glide munitions, and future, yet-to-be-invented payloads. Integrating nuclear capability is not merely technical, it's political, logistical, and doctrinal. The bomber's dual-capable nature gives national leaders options across escalation ladders, making it a particularly potent tool in flexible response strategies. Compare the B-21 to the B-2 and B-52, and the distinctions sharpen. The B-2 is a stealth icon, but it was produced in the Cold War with limited units, high maintenance overhead, and avionics architecture tied to an earlier era. The B-2's stealth coatings require extensive care, and its systems are bound by their original design life. The B-52, on the other hand, is a marvel of longevity, cheap to operate per flight hour, enormous payload, and a platform that has been repeatedly modernized. Yet without stealth, B-52s depend on standoff weapons and standoff corridors. They can't routinely penetrate modern integrated air defense systems. The B-21 marries the reach and payload breadth of the B-52 with the survivability of the B-2, while offering better operational economics and upgradability. Rather than being a museum piece or a logistical headache, the B-21 is intended to be exportable in doctrine and sustainable in practice. On the sensor front, the B-21 is expected to bring advanced onboard capabilities. Passive multispectral sensors allow the aircraft to detect, geolocate, and classify emitters without actively betraying its position. When necessary, it can carry active sensors and electronic attack payloads to suppress, deceive, or blind enemy networks. The growing recognition is that air dominance is increasingly about information dominance. A bomber that can find and fix targets in denied areas and link that data to other shooters, be they standoff missiles, stealth fighters, or cyber tools, reshapes campaign dynamics. The B-21's onboard computing and software stack is designed for modularity. New sensor suites, improved EW pods, or machine learning-based analyst aids can be integrated as threats evolve. Range and persistence are core strengths. Intercontinental reach, aerial refueling compatibility, and long loiter times let the B-21 posture for deterrence or surge strike from bases outside the reach of immediate enemy action. That logistical footprint, basing in the U.S. or allied territories, protected by integrated air defenses and dispersed maintenance, creates dilemmas for adversaries. In wartime, survivability is not just about a platform's stealth, but also about how dispersed and hardened the force is. The B-21 program includes investments in basing concepts, hardened shelters, mobile logistics, and runway repair capabilities to keep the fleet alive under attack. Cost is unavoidable in any strategic program, and the B-21 is expensive. Unit cost estimates vary based on accounting, but the bomber is often cited in the tens of millions to over $100 million per aircraft, depending on what's included. The overall program cost runs into the tens of billions when you factor in production facilities, spares, training, and lifecycle sustainment. That price tag explains why the U.S. plans a limited but significant fleet, enough to ensure survivable deterrence and operational flexibility, but not the mass numbers of a tactical fighter inventory. This raises questions about risk concentration. With fewer platforms, each bomber's survivability becomes even more critical, and losses, either physical or in operational availability, carry correspondingly larger strategic consequences. Now turn to the international dimension. What about the Chinese H-20? Beijing's push for a modern stealth bomber is an obvious mirror to U.S. investments. The H-20 program, emerging from open-source intelligence and Chinese military reporting, signals the People's Liberation Army's desire to project strategic power beyond the People's Liberation Army Air Force's previous regional confines. If operational, the H-20 would give China the ability to threaten targets across the Pacific, reinforce anti-access area denial A2AD postures, and extend credible strike to bases and assets at greater range. But design philosophies differ. The H-20 is likely optimized for regional strategic objectives, deterring intervention in contingencies near and across the East and South China Seas, rather than the global power projection the U.S. seeks. Nonetheless, a survivable Chinese bomber introduces new strategic choices for U.S. planners: dispersal of assets, forward basing doctrine, allied defense integration, and the allocation of maritime and air assets to counter this threat. How do the J-20 and H-20 programs compare? They are not the same plane family, but they reflect China's broader modernization. The J-20 is China's stealth fighter, designed for air superiority and long-range strike, while the H-20 is a strategic bomber aspirant. The J-20 can contest airspace and protect Chinese interests. The H-20, if it reaches operational readiness, would be the long arm. For the U.S., the scale and sophistication of these programs matter because they change the calculus of presence in the Western Pacific, threaten forward bases, and complicate naval logistics and potential contingencies. The B-21 provides an asymmetric response, a platform engineered to penetrate, network, and strike across contested zones, ensuring that the U.S. maintains a credible long-range strike capability even as Chinese systems improve. Space and cyber domains further blur traditional lines. Space-based sensing provides early threat warnings. Cyber operations degrade an adversary's command and control. Electronic attacks can blind components of an integrated air defense system. The bomber's software must be resilient to intrusion, its data links encrypted and redundant, and its mission planning adaptive to contested electromagnetic environments. The B-21 program invests heavily in secure, survivable communications and hardened computing, recognizing that a stealth aircraft without robust situational awareness and secure connectivity is vulnerable. Arms control implications are significant. Bombers are dual-capable and mobile. They complicate verification regimes. In an era where arms control treaties are frayed, the introduction of a new stealth strategic bomber changes bargaining dynamics. Allies and adversaries will reassess their force postures. China's potential fielding of an H-20, Russia's modernization of its bomber force, and U.S. investment in the B-21 create momentum for new strategic dialogues or renewed tensions. The bomber's mere existence can be stabilizing if it deters miscalculations. It can be destabilizing if it triggers arms racing in bombers, missiles, or counter-stealth sensors. The human factor also matters. Training air crews to operate in contested environments, refining tactics for penetration under modern integrated air defenses, and integrating bomber operations with joint and allied campaigns are all non-trivial. The B-21's advanced simulation capabilities, virtual training environments, and network mission rehearsal systems aim to shorten learning curves and increase preparedness. But training infrastructure and doctrine must keep pace with hardware. The best aircraft in the world is only as effective as the pilots, maintainers, and commanders who employ it. Finally, look to the future. The B-21 isn't a static endpoint. It's a platform family concept designed to evolve. Software-defined avionics, modular payload bays, and planned upgrade paths mean future B-21 variants could carry directed energy systems, advanced hypersonic weapons, or expanded unmanned wingman roles. Sustained investment in research and development is essential to ensure the bomber remains relevant as countermeasures and detection technologies evolve. The industrial decisions made today about manufacturing, production rates, and international cooperation will determine whether the B-21 becomes the backbone of 21st century deterrence or a costly relic. In sum, the B-21 represents a calculated bet that survivable, networked, dual-capable, long-range strike will remain essential to national security, and that investments in stealth, modularity, and sustainment will preserve that capability against increasingly sophisticated adversaries. Its design choices, durable stealth, open systems, payload flexibility, and integration with allied networks, are all responses to the realities of modern warfare. Sensors proliferate, data dominates decision-making, and rapid adaptation is necessary. Against the backdrop of Chinese advances like the H-20 and an evolving global threat environment, the B-21 ensures the United States retains viable options for deterrence, precision strike, and power projection. It isn't a silver bullet, it's a multi-domain instrument of policy that combines technology, doctrine, and strategic intent. As the B-21 takes shape and joins the force, watching how doctrine adapts, how allies are integrated, and how potential adversaries respond will be as important as studying the aircraft's technical specifications. The bomber is more than hardware. It's a hinge between current reality and future choice, an expensive, precise, and profoundly consequential tool that will shape conflict and deterrence for decades to come.